You know, after just a while of doing these recordings, it's kind of gotten hard to recontextualize and actually sort of, even have a presentable idea that's like direct for what this even is, for what I'm even going through. I remember when I started um, these recordings, or maybe even before then, I just basically talked about my autism, about how autism sucked to have, and you know the symptoms of autism really, really made my life suck. And I recognized it as sort of a more fundamentally damaging thing than I think most people do. I saw it not just as one particular quirk or something. I saw it as, more just general social retardation, and just retardation with a lot of things. But I thought that, I could still have my certain talents or skills, and I could still have a place somewhere. I would just be slightly different. And that's kind of how I presented it before, but of course now it's just like so much more fundamentally fucked than I ever realized back then. I really do feel like every part of my life and every part of just trying to be a normal person in society and be able to get anything in society is kind of ruined and is fundamentally fucked up and just retarded for me. I kind of still conflate this with my autism, but I don't know, because there are plenty of autistic people who don't have it like this. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I found any autistic people who actually express the same type of idea that I'm expressing, but I've just kind of accepted that I'm like mentally retarded, and that there's a fundamental overarching sort of, I don't know, just this um, absolute retardation and absolute dysfunctionality that follows me everywhere and everything I do. And, it's just like present every second of my life. Every second of my life, I'm just dreading how I'm going to be incompetent at like everything that I try. Because, socially, it's very obvious what this is, right? I'm very socially retarded, and it doesn't just come down to one thing or the other. I can't fundamentally, link up sentences or construct sentences or word things correctly in a way that communicates the right idea or that's seen as normal, or that, I even have the right tone or body language, or I'm responding to things in the right way, bringing conversation in the right direction. I feel like sort of every part of it all the time is fucked up, and fundamentally trying to build social connections is impossible. Um, and I found it to be completely fucking not worth it to talk to anybody. And it's just kind of how it's been. I haven't really talked to anybody besides like my family members occasionally in a few years. So I don't know, but the times I did try, very embarrassing, very humiliating, and I just feel it as if it's completely not worth it, just based on how much I fuck up, just based on how retarded and how dysfunctional I am when it comes to building conversations, building sentences, and being able to communicate with people. It's just really fucking bizarre and disgusting the way I fucking talk. and it's really weird, and I'm also just not really able to understand base level things about a conversation, about a person I'm talking to, or about what I'm even fucking saying. I mean, I'm not very good at communicating an idea or an emotion, or, just anything. And I don't know. I mean, it's a complete. It's completely over for me. I think I don't think there's really any way to feel optimistic about this. A lot of other autistic people who seem to also have social problems just seem kind of like annoyed by it, as if it just makes things harder. But I find it to make social life and social connection fucking pointless, not worth it, and also probably impossible. And my mind blanks whenever I try to actually express these things. There's so many ways where this type of thing manifests, but I just can't think of it when I need to. Very bizarre. Very bizarre how I just fucking black out mentally whenever I'm trying to say anything. But I don't know. I feel like I come across as very unlikable in that there's a lot of misunderstanding. I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to build connections with people and just be normal and contribute positively to something. But people just, I think, view me as a weird, retarded asshole. And, a lot of the times I accidentally come across as rude. And that seems to be like in every sentence I make. Every sentence I write out on, some internet board or whatever, or any sentence I say, it's just like awkward and rude, and I don't intend for that to be the case, but it's just how it always is. And even if I was given an infinite amount of time to think about how to say sentences and then what sentence I should say in response to something, I would never be able to do it, because just fundamentally the way my mind works, I'm not able to conceive of how to make normal sentences and how to respond to things and understand things in a conversation correctly. So I just accidentally come across as an asshole, and it's super weird and bizarre, and I feel like it's extremely humiliating, and I'm unable to really have a productive conversation or understand people or contribute positively to something, right? I mean, I'll probably come across as selfish. I won't really be able to ask the right questions or really be able to, build any kind of connection. So even if people were like tolerant of me and gave me a chance, it would be impossible for anything to come out of it, for people to enjoy talking to me, because I'm not good at just communicating in a conversation. And this can result in like me being like super awkward, having the wrong tone, wrong body language, wording things in a really weird way, misunderstanding a bunch of things. But it can also just operate very fundamentally with me just seemingly being like super selfish and rude and just saying things in a fundamentally bizarre way, or whatever. And I'm not able to really understand what they are thinking or what they want to talk about, or what questions I should ask, or how should I express something. I can't fundamentally do that a lot of the time. And I mean, it's hard to express how that manifests, but I mean, it's very real. And yeah, I think I've always just come across as a retarded asshole, and fundamentally, I've never been able to positively contribute to anything, even when I've tried my best. So it's very clear to me that I'm an absolute social retard, and it's seemingly just based on how my mind fundamentally works. Um, and so I don't really know what to do about this. The thing that's weird about this is that I still feel like I want to have, friends, and I want to be able to um, be normal and talk normally and be perceived as normal. Um, I still have that seemingly like neurotypical intuition, but I fundamentally just contradict the ability, that idea of just being able to partake in normal human conversation and society. I'm just not able to understand those things or be able to communicate in the right, conventions and in the right mannerisms. And I don't know. I'm not very good at expressing it. I'm not very good at talking about it. All I know is that everyone's fucking hated me, and no one's ever wanted to talk to me because I'm just really retarded and I'm not good at talking. And yeah, I think that I just come across as unlikable and as bizarre and weird, and I can't fundamentally build connections with people or have conversations with people that are positive, normal. And I've always been like a lot more sad about the fact that I'm, mentally retarded like this. I've always thought it's not very fun to be, a fucking awkward retard who is super unlikable. Yeah, I mean, especially when I was younger, the idea that I was even just autistic really was terrible. I wanted to be normal completely, I wanted to be seen as really normal and likable. So the idea that I would be like, people would make fun of, with autism and stuff, people make fun of autism a lot. And I would do that as well because I thought, I could be normal. But the idea that I'm some awkward social retard who no one likes and it's just a fucking joke, I didn't really like that. Because I wanted to be completely normal. That felt just right to me, and anything else is fucking like a contradiction. It shouldn't be able to exist. I should just be able to be able to partake in human activities, human society, without some fundamental mental barrier where I can't understand the mannerisms, I can't understand the conventions, I can't understand how to express things. I feel like I should be able to. I feel like I should be able to fit into these things and be normal, but fundamentally I can't, and everything I do is super fucking humiliating. And I'm basically just as retarded as any fucking autist that people think are fucking jokes that will never have a place in society. In many ways, I'm worse than a lot of autistic people. I mean, I've come to accept that a little bit more now, but obviously, I don't think it's any better in terms of what my capabilities are. I think that I'm not going to be able to really achieve any kind of satisfying and normal long-term social place or place in society that isn't completely half-hearted and just miserable because of how retarded I am and how embarrassing it is, and how fundamentally empty everything I'm gonna get is gonna be, because fundamentally I can't contribute to conversations. I can't contribute to things in society in a competent way. So I'm never really going to be able to get much out of it that isn't fucking fake. And I don't know. I feel like I've just fucking lost touch with how to even express this. I feel like people probably think that this is just like nothing, that I'm saying nothing right now. But it's very hard for me to express emotion, for me able to express my problems. And so I just feel like, everybody probably just thinks that I'm a lazy dumbass and that the problem I'm talking about doesn't exist. And, well, I mean, it's obvious, I'm retarded, but people still want to think that these things are possible, and it's just that I'm being lazy. And I think the reason they think that is just because I can't fucking express my actual problem in a coherent way. It's just too vague, because I'm not very good at coming up with examples. But, I mean, there's many other ways this shit manifests, and I don't even know what it is. I guess it's autism, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've always been just fucking mentally delayed, and I grew out of things later, and so I'm kind of like fucking Christian, and that's always what I thought about, when I thought about how there's a lot of embarrassing things about the things I would do growing up, which generally I grew out of things later, and I was more into more autistic shit. I thought like, yeah, I'm fucking mentally retarded like Christian, and now it's really fucking depressing. And I don't feel too happy about that, it doesn't feel like it's a super happy thing to be the fucking mentally delayed retard that everyone thinks is a joke. It's just, I don't know. I want to be like fucking normal, and especially back then, I didn't want to be like seen as retarded or awkward at all. But like I said, it isn't just one kind of quirk, just one little bit of awkwardness. It's a really fucking ugly thing. Like, I think I come across as an unlikable, just incoherent, humiliatingly fucking embarrassingly fucking retarded asshole. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try to be, a good person, I think I'm just really unlikable, and I'm not good at communicating ideas or communicating with people in a positive way. So, I don't know, my experience, I guess, with autism is a very fundamentally, debilitating thing. I don't feel like I'm ever going to be able to have a fulfilling social relationship. I don't feel like I'm ever going to be able to have a fulfilling skill or talent that I'm good at, because I also feel like my autism makes me just more cognitively fucking incompetent when it comes to any kind of societal skill, with technical stuff or creative stuff or something you do at a job. I feel like I'm incompetent at all types of skills and talents, and everything I've ever tried. Basically, I've always felt like my autism has ruined it, and I feel like because of the way my mind works, fundamentally I just cannot comprehend how to do these things correctly or competently, or in a way that's going to be able to function in a societal setting. I just have no creative thinking. I have no abstract thinking, and that even means that I can't do stuff like programming, which maybe that's not the right way to say it then, but I don't know. I don't know how to really describe it, but I feel like I can't do a lot of certain things like programming, like technical stuff, because of my autism. Or just some mental barrier I have where I'm not able to really fundamentally consider how to make these things, in the most versatile, normal way, where it's just inherently obvious to me. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I feel like I definitely could not function at a lot of these things in a job setting. But there's just like so much fucking pain I associate with like every single social interaction I've ever had. I just I'm really just unbearably fucking insufferable and retarded and unlikable, and I can't really explain it. I can't express my emotions. I can't express these ideas. It's just like I have a certain problem, and I can't even escape it in any way. I have no comfort from it because I can't even express it, and that kind of sucks, but I guess it's just how it is. People don't even understand it. People just think that I'm making it up or something, and that I can just try harder and I'll get rid of it. Because obviously I've always come to the conclusion that this is not something I can change. That my autism is just the way my mind fundamentally works, or whatever it is, regardless of whether or not it's my autism. Just the way my mind fundamentally works is in a way that's contradictory to be able to make social connections, to be able to talk in normal human ways, to be able to just have all the millions of things that are just come naturally to neurotypicals, have that all be right. And when I'm talking to somebody, my tone, my body language, the wording I use, the ways I take the conversation, things, it's just everything. It's just wrong and humiliating in a million ways, and I feel like that's a very fundamental thing. That's just part of the way I think. And so obviously I don't think this is something I can fundamentally change. I think that no matter how hard I try, I'll always be unable to get any satisfying or normal societal relationship or job or whatever without it being half-hearted and painful and just fundamentally like temporary. It's just not worth it. I'm just such a social retard, just not with my awkwardness or with my social anxiety, but with just everything about the way I speak and the way I compose myself. I just come across as a mental fucking child, a mentally delayed fucking Chris Chan type person, and it's just really unlikable. It's a really unlikable, cold, or just retarded Chris Chan type fucking asshole. It's fucking Spurg. It's just really embarrassing the way I speak, really fucking embarrassing the way I mess up understanding conversations and where to take them and what questions to ask. It's just, I'm really fucking socially retarded. And I think I'm retarded in like every way, in every part of my life. It's just all fucking impossible. I haven't heard like many other people or anybody else talk about something like this. I feel like whenever someone talks about like mental problems, they talk about it in a way where it's just like one specific problem or one specific work, and they're still able to find comfort in something. They're still able to have some kind of talent or some kind of skill or some kind of relief or silver lining to it. But for me, I feel like I can't even express these things. I feel like I exist in like a mental prison where The emotions I want to express, I just can't, and so it just comes across as incoherent. And also, I can't fundamentally speak correctly. I can't fundamentally come across as normal and as likable, and I can't fundamentally build connections or have conversations or really do any kind of technical or creative or any kind of skill, talent, or job for the social reasons, and also just because of the fact I'm incompetent at like every even simple task. So I don't know. To me, it's a very fundamentally debilitating thing, and there's no comfort from it. There's no escape from it. Every second of my life, of everything I do, I just have like complete dread that, I'm gonna be retarded in every decision I make, and it's not gonna be worth it. It's just gonna be painful and humiliating and not amount to anything, and that's always how it's been. I mean, I failed at everything I've ever tried. I've barely had any friends, and everyone's fucking hated me. And I haven't talked to basically anybody in the last few years. I think it's fucking obvious that whether or not, there are other people like me, at the very least and whether or not this is, a symptom of autism, at the very least, my life is not really gonna be able to amount to anything when it comes to anything that could make me fundamentally happy. Because, I still feel like I'm human. I still feel like I want to live in human society and have human skills, and have human relationships and stuff, but I just also fundamentally I don't have the a lot of the ways of thinking and ways of conceiving and perceiving social convention and just cognitive stuff when it comes to being able to do jobs or be able to do stuff and technical stuff or whatever. I feel like I don't have any of that. I don't have the normal human convention of speaking and of understanding social stuff, and so I just fundamentally cannot talk to other people in a way that is productive or in a way that is able to result in me being seen as another good, understanding, likable person. In so many fucking ways, a million fucking ways, I'm just fucking retarded and incompetent. And it's not just one small thing I can overcome. It's just a fundamental way my mind works. The fundamental way my mind works is just opposed to like being able to communicate with humans and being able to build relationships with humans. But I don't know. I honestly have no fucking idea what this is anymore. I'm not good at even expressing it. It's just way too vague. I'm never gonna feel satisfied or happy with really anything I try to do. Just because it's all just so fucking incompetent. Even trying to express my emotions, I'm so incompetent. And I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what the fuck this is, but all I know is that my eyes probably fucked. So that's good.